From Gangnam to Gargoyle, nerds are passionate about... No, I'm just kidding. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CH Podcast. This is not an episode of Actually. This is just simply four nerds talking for a different reason.
I'm not a nerd.
Katie...
Four freaking nerds.
No,
Four freaking nerds. Equally
I was a jock.
freaks.
I was a...
What?
Yeah.
What did you play?
Cello?
Cello.
No.
Cello.
No, but my class ring, they accidentally put a cello on it. It was
How do you accidentally
Did you
put a
know that?
cello?
Also, wait, yeah.
I didn't know. Don't look at me like I guessed something. Katie made an insane mental leap from a random word I said
that?
to... Yeah.
No, that's true. And I don't know why I got one. I never wore it, but it did have a cello on it. I could probably find it and bring it to work.
Yeah, please bring it in.
Yeah, we got to follow this thread to wherever it goes. We got to unravel this
Who
sweater
else?
here.
Did you guys get class rings? I definitely didn't.
I think you could buy one, but I was
No, it was an option, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like $800.
No, mine was under 100.
Can you imagine just wearing if you wear a class ring, cool, but for me
Yeah.
personally,
Walk it back. Walk it way
Yeah,
back.
walk it right back.
Look,
sure, if you work at the gas station and you wear your class ring and you're married and you wear it instead of your wedding ring,
It's
that's
cool.
fine.
It's cool.
I didn't attend middle school or high school. And so
What?
He's 13.
I'm 13.
Oh my
13
God.
years old. No, I didn't attend. I didn't attend middle school or high school. And when I went to the only colleges I went to, I don't think had class. SVA didn't have one, and SUNY Ulster. I graduated from. I got an associate's there when I was 17, and I threw the graduation. It was like a community college, like continuing education. And me and my brother went when we were young, like high school age, which a lot of homeschoolers did. And at graduation, we had the whole class there. But again, it's a community college. It had just joined SUNY. So it wasn't like a huge, it was like we were out, it was a beautiful day. And at the end, it was like, we pronounce you the class of 2000, and I think it was 2005. And I went, woo, and threw my mortarboard up in the air. In a sea of road people, one mortarboard. A single, literally the only mortarboard that went up.
Oh my God.
And it kind of came down silently, like, ow, and just, like, hit somebody.
If I was going to community college, like, I'm just going to do my time, keep my head down, transfer or something. And a 17-year-old was also there. And then on top of it, they were trying to have their big moment. I would have creamed you.
Well, here's the thing, Allie. I did not find the mortarboard. So someone did absolutely go,
I'm keeping this fucking hot.
Yeah.
Fuck that kid. I'm keeping this hot.
Wait, what? I guess I wouldn't wear my class ring because I didn't really do anything that would look cool on a ring. What did you do other than cello?
Do they change what is on your ring?
It's kind of like a Letterman's
Yes,
jacket. Like,
it
you got
is.
to pick different
You
aspects.
choose what you want.
have a
Which
specific-
stone did you get? What's your birth?
got-
What's everyone's birthstone?
I'm January. We're January.
is that tourmaline or is
I have no idea.
It sounds like class rings are meant to have powers.
Yeah.
Like you can shoot music at people.
This is my middle class ring. All the powers of being in the middle class.
I'm Zach. I feel like I forgot to. Are we introducing ourselves?
Oh,
more?
yeah,
You're right. You're totally right.
Say your name, what you would have been on your class ring, and your birthstone.
Cool.
Let's go around.
why don't we start with
Okay, we'll start with me. Katie Maravich.
Garnet
Is my birthstone. My birthday is January 26th, so it's coming up.
Wow.
Or if depending on when this airs, it has already passed. And
What was
I got a
actually
cello.
on your class ring.
Cello. I don't remember what I wanted, but I didn't
Did
do
you just
any
not
activity.
fill anything out, and they were like, "We'll just give her a cello."
No, I'm sure that I don't know what happened. But go ahead.
My name is Allie. My birthstone, I also don't know. This was a bad question.
No, this
to
is great.
pick.
What's your birth month?
June.
Yours is Pearl and Alexandrite?
Ooh.
Pool. Pool.
The third is the Moonstone.
That's pretty good.
I will also point out that I do want to get this correct. It is also made up. So we don't need to be that stringent.
It's like just depends on which website you go on.
Yeah, according to mike.gemstone.blogspot.com.
No. Mike?
What's up? I'm Mike, and these are my gym stones.
Great. Let's hear you.
Oh, sorry. I'm Zach. What is the order? My class ring would if I had something I'm still learning about what this is at all. My class ring would probably be some funny like thrift store shirts.
What's your stone?
My stone, I was born on August 22nd. So
Shit, hold on.
Did you close out a mic.gemstone?
One job.
Fuck.
What-
Peridot.
Peridot.
These all, I've been nodding, but I haven't heard of any of these except for Pearl. I've been like, yes.
Peridot.
Only one.
Sagirite.
Yeah.
Cool.
Brennan, would you like to tell us your school ring?
My school ring
LARPing.
would
Yes.
have LARPing on it, so it would have a foam sword on it.
Yes.
It would also, I guess, have to have. I went to school for screenwriting at SVA, and I also went to school for like humanities and philosophy at SUNY Ulster. So
Cool.
maybe like an old Dutch man stroking a beard and
Yes.
peering off into the distance, and then a foam sword, and then
How big is your ring?
Yeah, how big is your ring?
enormous. I mean, it covers it spills off of the
It's a
ring
statement
finger.
watch that I wear as a ring.
It's a lot.
And,
Sort of just this bleeding crystal across your whole
And my birthday is January 4th. It just happened, so I would be Garnet as
Yes.
well.
how was your birthday?
Sorry.
We all want to know. No.
Tell us.
It was a hoot. It was a lovely low key affair. We had a little bash at my apartment.
I thought you were going to say a little bath. And
We had a little
I was
bath,
excited.
and I had to scrub all the guests because they were dirty.
I went to your birthday and I had to get in a bath. I was not expecting it.
Yeah, me too. No,
Yeah.
that was weird.
No, all three. Everyone here was invited.
I was invited. I got sick. I couldn't make it, and I'm very sorry.
No, it was lovely. You were missed. We had a ball. It was bumping for a second there.
Yeah.
Really?
Sure.
It was because we had the vibe. It's always one of those days where you're like very low key. The vibe is low key. We're just gonna get together, have some drinks and some fun. And then I do not imbibe alcohol. But I often get it as a gift from people because I am Irish and people are racist. So people will get me like, here's a thing of like I have improv students a couple times at the end of classes have been like, teach, here you go, a bottle of the finest whiskey. And it's truly, I'm not shitty, it's a lovely, wonderful gesture.
Yeah.
But it means that I have dusty bottles of whiskey in my house. So throwing parties is a nice way for me to go throw this whiskey out. And I put up this really nice bottle of Connemara whiskey.
Ooh.
And it was... God. So
Really?
it was like very like low key chill ass vibe, but then people were like fucking slamming whiskey right out of the gate, and it was a fun time. People got loose.
God
Yeah.
damn, that sounds
I
fun.
got loose.
Did you? Were you one of the ones who drank up that whiskey?
No, actually, I had no alcohol.
I didn't even. I think it was maybe gone before I got there, or I missed it.
Yeah,
but
I
I
hate
had other
whiskey.
drinks.
I think whiskey's gross and stupid.
yeah,
Really?
whiskey's not my thing.
Wild.
Yeah.
Katie got so loose that she
I was very loose.
she did prompt the entire party to grind to a halt so that a mutual friend of all of ours could tell the entire assembled people of the party that she had recently contracted chlamydia.
Yes,
No.
I did do this.
This was a wild story, and after I saw it happening, and I was like, good gravy, what are we doing? And as it ended, I just was like, bye, Brennan. I said goodbye to no one else.
No.
Well, okay, but
I did have to.
I didn't mean for this to happen. I screamed, and then Grant O'Brien was like, "You have to tell us what happened." So I didn't intend for that to be a.
So then the whole party. Wait.
I
from her
hate
point of
to
view-
put you on blast, and I could be remembering wrong, but I do recall, Katie, you on the couch going, "Everybody, quiet down and listen to this."
And then
that
it was.
that did
she
happen, I
found
think,
out
but
she
it was
has
after
the
Grant.
clap.
Grant definitely was the reason. I would have kept this more private. little-
Happy to tell it.
Yeah, she was happy. Paul
Paul is also our producer.
Paul, get in here. Paul, get on camera.
Get on
Get in
camera.
there.
Paul.
I'll tell you.
This is Paul Robolino.
Hi, Paul.
Paul, yeah. So
You did the
No
worst thing ever.
fucking way.
But
Do you see Brennan?
Was also
not-
there.
sorry. also there, and she also commented that it was very
Do you guys remember
wild.
how, like, 5 minutes
I'm gonna
before the
go.
show started, everyone was like, nothing can be edited. This is straight to tape. I remember that.
It is like 7:30 in the morning.
It's
I
so
forgot that
early,
cameras
so
are rolling.
crazy.
Everyone, good morning. Thank you
Oh my
for
God.
waking up with us.
Certainly, it's not editing to add a bleep or a quick thing where
It's not gonna happen. She's gonna
We just
be
have to go back in
furious.
time, man.
She's gonna whoop your ass.
I'm gonna get my ass kicked. Well, she did launch into an entire story about contracting a venereal disease at my birthday party.
But I
know
will
what?
say, I truly would not have done that if someone. Like,
If
I,
God-
I
It was
been a private.
it was hilarious and
clocked it
very
immediately.
and very it was very funny, but I did have to like post up because there were she is the most wonderful human being that
Oh,
walks the
yes.
planet Earth.
Absolutely.
There were just some people there who didn't know her,
Yeah.
and so I think
Or he was.
or he.
Yeah.
So I had to I remember the story started and I was like, oh, this is fun. And then it started to go in the direction that it did. And I kind of posted up behind her as like a Statler and Waldorf peanut gallery
Yes.
as a playful energy, but also to let my friends that didn't know what was happening know that this was all okay. So,
my
person would be
God.
well, it looks like I got chlamydia. And I was like, ha ha, you tell them. All
We're all
good. You
comfortable.
are safe.
Okay.
You know what? STD is a normal part of life,
Doesn't
and
mean you're a bad person.
No, and
We should
sometimes
normalize STDs.
STIs.
STIs. Let's
STIs
be
is what they're
normalizing them. This podcast is for that.
Her name is Gertrude Stein.
All right, we can be honest. The story's
Real
about
person.
me. I had chlamydia, and
Yeah.
this is what.
Yeah.
This is,
Zach got
Absolutely.
chlamydia, and Katie told everyone about it at
That's
a birthday
not what
party.
happened.
So this was supposed to be a delightful story about my birthday party, and has instead turned to
Absolutely
me.
hijacked.
Yeah, absolutely hijacked, and is now me having outed a dear friend.
And the clock just struck 6 a.m. We're off to a great start on this day. We have a great show for you guys. We have
This has been going on.
Ween is here. Ween, the band. Never mind.
Halloween's here.
Let's hop into our first segment, okay? We're going to play a little game. Katie has prepared, honestly, with her track record, who knows what we're about to get into.
Hello, everyone. Just a reminder, I'm Katie.
Katie, if you lived in Texas, who would you have voted for in this past election?
O'Rourke, for sure. Obviously.
But do you want to take a crack at his first name?
Yeah, do you want to try to... What was
Beto.
his name?
Beto. Beto.
You are really chewing that as you say it.
She was
I
so
have
worried before
an
the show
accent.
started that she would say Beto's name wrong. She thought maybe it was Beto.
I did not.
And
That's
then-
what they told me it
And then
was.
we tried to trick her.
And then we tried to
were
trick
mean.
her.
Yeah.
But I do think Beto is going to have a
Shut
great crack
up.
at it.
yeah. Beto is
up,
sort
shut
of.
right up.
There's
Beto Arak.
something about him.
All right, guys. Can we play the game that I have prepared?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
It's called Secrets of My Friends.
No, this is a game where I'm going to read for you the title of a clickbait article. And then whoever guesses what the article is actually about wins.
Let's do
Number
it.
1. When she places a mug over an egg, it doesn't get any better than this. Now, what could this article be about?
The article. I'm sorry. The article title is.
When she places a mug over an egg, it doesn't get any better than this.
Can you? That's clickbait.
What's the definition of
When
When
who's
she-
she?
when
What are you
she-
talking
Guys,
about?
guys, I'm going to be honest. This is the first time seeing this. Just
What?
please go with this.
You don't know the answer?
I am reading.
Okay,
this one.
okay. I think that this article is about a cooking show, and that's some sort of like hack. Like you put a mug over the egg, and then it like steams it
Yes.
or something in the pan.
You got it.
Really?
It's-
Oh, we don't get to guess.
Sorry.
Wow.
Go ahead. You two guess as well. It's useless.
Why would I waste your and my
I
time?
know. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I was gonna say it sounds like I don't know, like a train song. You know how he always
No.
like describes like a lady for a while.
No. Let me read the answer for you. A cook cracks an egg onto a plate, then puts the mug over the yolk so she can pour the whites out and separate them.
The way
Sorry,
she
cracks
pours
them.
an egg over a cup and puts the cup on top of it.
That's
Alright.
an insane way to separate the egg and the yolk. Everyone knows that you can just use the shell. You
Yes.
take the-
Okay. Beto O'Rourke can never.
Wow.
I'm cutting you off because I have a lot to do and I want to get through all of them.
Can I just say really quickly
I
that
can't.
there's an amazing trick. If you put
Yes.
put a bunch of eggs into a bowl,
Yeah.
you just take, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You
What?
take an empty water bottle and you squeeze it and you put it over each yolk and they pop into the water
Holy
bottle.
cow.
And then you end up with a water bottle full of 6 yolks.
Do I keep grabbing your?
You haven't touched me once. What?
There was a time on stage once where I kept grabbing your elbow.
For emphasis, Katie would go. Isn't that unnerving?
Oh, no. Stop.
You're getting hard.
Do it to me. Somebody do it to me. Ah!
That's nice.
All right. Anyway.
You really want to win this game.
What's that?
Second
And it
question.
just turned
Second question.
5:30.
What's happening is I'm just falling into my own head that I less than 10 minutes ago outed one of my dear friends. Like I know that we're gonna keep it fun and
You
loose
outed
here, but
me,
just know that
yeah.
I am in a screaming
Yes.
hell pit.
Hey, we're gonna
in my
talk
own
later
mind.
about how you
Yeah.
outed me for having chlamydia.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Michaela won't get it.
Beto O'Rourke can never be president until he addresses this scandal. What do you guys think this is about?
Probably.
Beto O'Rourke will never be president because he's a good Democratic.
No, it's this.
Person-
Okay.
oh.
This is a.
Wait, what
I'm
are
not
you going to say, though?
I was going to say, look, the obsession over Beto O'Rourke is insane. I supported him running as a Democrat in Texas. In Texas, he would be great. On a national stage, that's crazy. Love the guy when he was campaigning again in Texas, which is a fucking ruby red state where he had a shot.
Right.
But I do not approve of his, he could be way more left if he was running for the entire country. Good gravy.
Yeah.
I think it's his punk band.
Thank you.
Is it?
And you?
A video of him dancing on a roof with his high school friend.
No, this is the scandal. He wore a short sleeve T-shirt while building a snow fort with his kids.
This is depressing.
Wow.
This is really depressing.
Did you write that article?
Here's number 3. He threw his autistic son into the ocean. The reason why will leave you in tears.
Leave you in tears?
Yes, he threw his autistic son into the ocean.
Beto O'Rourke? What is going on?
Beto O'Rourke. This is not
You
the
gotta
answer.
bookend this stuff for us. I know you want to keep it moving. We need to understand.
Let me-
Katie, you're the most Aquarius person I've ever met in my fucking life.
This is a whole new idea.
Okay.
He
What's
threw
the next one?
his autistic
What's the
son.
next one?
He threw
What the
his
hell is
autistic
Into the ocean.
son
What the
into
hell
the
is that?
ocean.
Katie, you didn't get to the
All right, let's do it. Paul's right.
What?
Paul's yelling at me. He threw his autistic. Paul, you should really just be sitting here, like directing.
Okay.
Do you think the goal is for you to quickly read through?
No.
Just get through it.
Guys, just here. I'll say it again. He threw
You're
his
so
autistic
tired.
son into the ocean. The reason why will leave you in tears. What could this be about?
Just like on its face.
Yeah,
It's like whatever that man's reason for doing that is super depressing.
Look, we all know that it's some kind of therapy for the son, and it'll have us in tears because it ends up being heartwarming. But the truth is, this terrible fucking author is using the fact that a person would maybe try to kill their autistic son in order to drive clicks, which is cynical and terrible.
I wish
and we
we
should
knew-
throw that author into the ocean.
Yes. Can we find out where these are from?
Here, I'll tell you the answer. He wanted to
Gawker.
share his passion for surfing and help his son relax.
It wasn't even like therapy.
Did he even know? Like,
Did he know
I wonder how this kid reacted.
I haven't read the
Also,
article.
autism is a spectrum, so maybe,
Maybe,
maybe he
Maybe
was
what?
like a high functioning.
Maybe he was
just a
severely
little
autistic,
bit.
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying maybe he was severely.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Let's all just remember that it is a spectrum, and maybe he was at the
All right.
far end of it.
Guys,
I will say, can I just
Yes, pop in here.
Are we fucking
We're
this up?
not gonna
I
be
will say
using
that
this.
once you click on the headline, there's no throwing at all.
Oh,
It's literally just them
He's,
surfing,
tossing a
having
kid in.
a wonderful time.
What a
Good
fucking
God.
asshole.
What
wrote
a
this.
nightmare.
He throws his autistic son. What a villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's
I
true.
gathered these. So just to let you know, that's why Katie, some of them might be surprising even to her.
I've been surprised this whole time.
I can't wait.
I
We're
want to
halfway
read
through,
this
baby.
one.
I'm here for any more clarity.
Oh, we need a chair.
We need you to stand by. All
All right,
right.
guys, I want to read this last
We got about
one.
15 more.
He cuts the handle off the toilet brush.
How was that?
Okay, well, I'm skipping around.
Why?
They're loaded in order, I think.
They're loaded in order.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry, I should have told you that.
I didn't know that. All right.
Why would you skip around?
What the hell was that? What the hell was that?
This is a list of questions.
What the hell was that? That's the article title. That's the clickbait title. What
That's
the hell was
honestly, I think I would click on that. Unfortunately,
It
I
just
think
says so. The clickbait title is "What the hell was that?"
Yes.
So, like the article writer wrote this question as the full, and that's the link you
hell
click.
was that?
Is there art that goes with it? Is there key art, like a photograph?
Why are you asking me this? Like I know.
I don't know if it's included.
It's not included
not
on
on
this
there, but-
list of questions.
Do you
Anyway,
think that is like more like a clickbait article that would be on a porn website or like a conservative website?
I think that would. Well, what
But
might
hell,
have. Yeah.
If depending on what the key art was, I would definitely be excited to click on that.
what would be the funniest key art?
I think
for
it's
what
gonna-
the
I
hell
have
is
it. It's
that?
a very old man with a long beard in a nightcap with
Yeah.
a little Victorian candle shooting up out of bed. I'd click that in a heartbeat.
I want to see like a really beautiful blue butterfly.
What I
What the hell was
what
that?
I think it is like night vision from like one of those deer stand cameras of like a goat creature, like
Yes.
when it's like maybe like a weird animal that maybe doesn't exist or whatever.
And you're like, that could be a weird kind of goat.
Chupacabra.
It's like, no, that goat is big. Its neck is long. What is that goat?
the answer. Do you guys want the answer?
Yeah, oh,
No, I don't. It's okay.
Donald Trump made a press briefing about the border wall with little notice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Just a really
Guys,
quiet.
laugh.
Yeah.
Laugh with us.
It just but the correct emotion is rage, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm just about I
Just a
just,
tired rage.
I just want to feel the right feeling.
I felt disconnected from my body when stuff like this comes up.
What the hell
All right,
is
what's
that?
next one?
Don't.
Now, just which random one are you gonna?
Yeah.
Number 5. She's sung this song 1,000 times, and when she hears the crowd do this, she cries.
Number 5. Like you've been not doing it in order the whole time. Like it's been this.
She's been singing for how long?
She's sung
1,000
this
years.
song 1,000 times. When
Times.
she hears the crowd do this, she cries. So, guys, it's just what do you
When
think?
she hears
She's
the
a crowd.
crowd, so that's a lot of
su-
people doing
yes.
one thing at the
when
same
the crowd
time.
does this thing,
Adele is singing. They're singing along with her.
I think Adele, they're all barfing.
I think I've seen this
Oh,
one.
Zach, you got it. Zach got it.
I'm gonna say.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, Zach
Zach
got
got
it.
it. But you can still say
no.
something.
Actually, there's yes. You're right. There is no point. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's continue.
Answer. While performing at the Royal Albert Hall, Adele was brought to tears when the audience did something really amazing. She
They
started
sang
singing
along.
her chart topper, Someone Like You, and they sang along in perfect unison.
You know what? I more want to know, Zach, why had you already read that article?
I think I've seen that. I mean, and then it's a
Yeah.
picture of Adele. There's no more. I didn't click on it.
It is.
You just got the vibe.
I actually have seen that clip. It is beautiful.
Really?
I haven't.
Aw.
But like, she's crying.
Right.
What could they possibly do? Thousands of
Nothing.
people that would recognize
It's
as one
safe.
thing.
Grow up as one.
All right, guys.
Would you? But would you cry if you saw?
Yeah, that's scary.
Grow up? Yeah.
A whole crowd barfing? That's some like
Adele just
weirdo
weeping.
Matrix shit.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to hear number 6?
I'm
Number
chomping
6.
at the
All right.
Number 6.
He cuts the handle off this toilet brush. Why? Pure genius. Why is my voice so
No
weird?
further punctuation after
Pure
pure
genius.
genius. Just a floating pure genius.
Oh, I didn't realize you guys could see. All right, sorry.
So I'm wondering what he keeps. Does he keep the handle or does he keep the brush?
He cuts the handle off this brush. Why? Pure
Or else he gets the
genius.
hose again?
What do you guys think,
Puts the
Brennan?
lotion on the
Start with you.
brush.
He cuts the handle off this brush. Why?
Now I can only hear it in that case.
Pure
Pure
genius.
genius.
Why
Puts the
pure
lotion
genius?
on the
cuts-
skin.
He cuts the handle off the brush.
I'm gonna say that what is strangely, they've actually already answered the question, right?
Because he's a pure genius.
He's a pure genius.
Yes.
If the question is what device is he creating or why did he cut the handle off his brush?
Right.
I'm going to say because he has turned himself into like a sort of Inspector Gadget thing where it's all going to be affixed to like a rotating series of tools encased in his arm. Sorry, what was the question?
He cuts the handle off this
I
toilet
wanted to make sure that there was a gendered pronoun in there when I said he, because I didn't want to be in that like mom is the doctor riddle.
Yeah.
So I was like, good, you did
So
say
the mom
he.
is the doctor. I think he cut the handle off the brush because there were so many germs on the handle.
Interesting.
I think he puts it on the end of a power tool, and so he cut it off.
Zach, have you read all these books?
That was truly a guess. That was truly
Yes,
a
you're
guess.
right.
Yeah.
Here, this is why he's a pure genius. He
Who,
attaches it. No, not you, Zach. Oh my God. He attaches it to a power drill, then spins it rapidly in a bucket of potatoes in order to peel them.
I didn't know why.
What?
What are you
He's
saying?
a genius.
A brush?
A brush.
A toilet brush in a
peels
bucket
potatoes.
of potato. Is
Paul,
he
can we
like?
get a bucket, power tool?
I want to try this honestly. Wait, is he cooking for like
Probably
The
a
Navy?
party. I think probably a party at least.
Is it? Do we know it's a toilet? It's a toilet brush.
Toilet brush. It says it right here.
So,
you know?
so he puts it on a drill, puts it in a thing of buckets. How? No,
Look,
that
Brennan,
can't.
I'm not trying to be racist, but we are both Irish.
Yes,
and we
for
can
sure.
both see this happening.
Someone was like, right, I need to get more potatoes. Oh, there's not enough hours in
Got a toilet brush on a drill.
Like, how does the
Just like
scraps going everywhere? But also, like, you could only possibly get the surface most layer of potatoes unless you're penetrating a mass of potatoes, in which case when the brush starts going, if it's capable, the potatoes are heavy. How
I
powerful?
think in water. I think it's potatoes in water, maybe? What do you think?
Oh,
That's
Yeah.
what I'm picturing.
that's got to be it.
I don't know.
More Nick than I. Incredible.
All right, guys. Let's keep going.
So who's got the most
covers,
points right now? Sorry.
Yeah.
I think it's Zach for sure.
Yeah, you, I think.
He covers a
That too.
toilet paper roll. We're all picturing this, a toilet paper roll with tin foil. The results. the results. Sorry.
Wait, sorry, what's
My
this?
God. All right, let me just start over.
Risottos.
Start over.
He
Risotto.
covers a toilet paper roll with the tin foil. The results, brilliant.
He's making a little camera.
Huh?
He's making a little camera.
No.
Covers a toilet paper roll with tin foil. The results.
Brilliant.
He's cooking a hot dog in the sun. I just need to catch up to Zach.
No. Zach, come on, you got this. Come on,
How much do you think the person that wrote that spent on their journalism degree, if anything?
So much.
I got toilet paper roll.
Right, and then toilet paper roll with tin foil. And then, wait a minute, I'm confused.
It's an instrument.
Yeah, he made a tiny didgeridoo.
I figured it out.
Instrument.
I figured it out.
No, you weren't reacting to it. Never mind. I take it back. No.
I take it back. He was making a decorative clasp to put around tubes of wrapping paper. So they must be the same kind of
Does it say he's a genius?
It says brilliant.
Brilliant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's making a little. So it's like a cardboard roll covered in to then clasp
you
and
just
hold
put it-
Keep like the wrapping paper
wrapping
together.
paper.
That is honestly brilliant.
No, I've seen a lot of those like hack videos, and I feel like that one isn't. You can put them in pantyhose, and that keeps them like the whole thing protected.
But I think the idea of the paper towel roll tin foil is that it's like shiny and decorative.
Yeah,
It's
I guess
pretty.
you're right. Instead of like looking like a murderer with like weird sausage.
I mean, if I saw a bunch of hanging pantyhose with wrapping paper coming out of them,
Wrapping
I'd be like, "Oh, this is Buffalo Bill's house. We're
He
in
cuts
a full
the
serial
brush
killer gang."
off the handle, or else he gets the pantyhose again.
Yeah.
This is just Zach's audition
Right,
for a horror movie. Hello, everyone. Shall I move on to 8?
out of how many?
8. This is the last and final one. So get your
Wow.
thinking caps on, babies.
I'm gonna win. Get
I've
ready.
gotten not a single one of these.
He crawls on top of his dog, but what happens next left my heart in knots.
He crawls on top of his
Did the dog die?
Close.
He crawls on top of his dog, but what happened next?
But what happens next left my heart in knots.
The dog farts.
I think you realize the perspective shifts, and you realize the dog is on this man's grave. So. And it's weeping because
I just that just gave me deja vu. This happened
Wow.
before in my dream or something. Anyway, go ahead.
He crawls on top of the dog,
He
and what
crawls on
happened?
top of his dog, but what happens next?
I'm scared to
Left
even
my
think
heart.
about
I
this
know.
more.
These are all so scary.
What are you doing crawling on top of your dog, man?
He crawls on top of his dog, and then what you see is the reason he's crawling on top of his dog is that his dog.
It will leave your heart in knots.
The dog is they're in an extremely cold environment, and he is choosing to use his body.
It's a homeless man.
It's a yep.
The dog has an unregistered gun with the serial number filed off.
Oh yeah, they're in an active firefight, and he's using his body to shield the dog from stray bullets.
No.
Yeah, is it an active fire?
No, it's not. Here, let me tell you, the dog is very gentle and doesn't harm the little boy. Instead, he just lies there.
Oh, so
I
it's
thought
a
it was a
tiny
man.
child.
It's a little
does
boy.
it say?
You said the
does
man.
It say,
Oh, you just said he.
Does it say that the dog is very gentle?
The dog is very gentle and doesn't harm the little boy. Instead, he just lies.
You know what I feel like? I feel like you just transported us into the mind of my mom and her
Yes.
experience of the internet, and I did not like it.
I'm sorry.
Everything was like dangerous and
Yeah.
It is crazy.
sensational.
It is so crazy that the answer is the dog is very gentle
The dog is very gentle and,
and doesn't
hurt
harm the little boy.
But
Instead, he just lies.
I could be
So
wrong.
weird.
Do people in the world have a generally low opinion of dogs? Because if you told me a child crawled on a dog and the dog did nothing, I'd be like, yeah, checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
Most
a dog
dogs are-
Yeah,
very
I don't know
good.
if that warrants an article.
I feel like usually it would be like the climbed on top of a pit bull, or like one of
Yeah.
those dogs that gets like a
maligned.
bad
I
rap.
think it's a bad rap, yeah.
All right, let's move on. Zach, you brought a sketch in today that was never made and
Well, yes.
should have been.
I don't know if it should have been. To be honest, the sketch might be completely indefensible. That's why I brought it in, because I think it'd be funny to try to defend it. As far as I remember, I haven't been writing sketches at College Humor in a minute. I've just been doing some stuff with Dropout, but Katie, I think, was the only person who was here when this was written.
Yes.
And this is based off of basically one of those clickbait things we were just talking about. There was a minute where these tree pods were a thing, or not so much a real thing, but at least a thing you could click on that's like a version of being buried, where like instead of in a urn or just buried in like a normal casket, there's this version that's like you're in a pod and your body becomes a tree. And I got really obsessed thinking about this and like what the practicality of that was.
Wait, like you fertilize the tree? Is that
Well,
the
it's like
point?
a picture of this like cocoon looking thing with like a body in it and then like a tree coming out. And so I was like, what does that mean?
I feel like I missed that.
Yeah,
Maybe
well,
was
I don't think
abroad.
that's maybe another reason why this didn't get made. Is
Yeah.
this is not a huge phenomenon other than a thing I saw that I thought was funny. And this is probably like sort of late in the game for me, where I was just trying to make things that would I write sketches that were kind of trying to make Trap mad, not mad, but like make him laugh in a like this is unusable kind of way.
Yeah.
So this is. So let's just read it.
Great.
Katie, will you read the soothing voice?
Yes, I absolutely will.
Brennan, will you read the foreman?
Yes.
Workers.
You got it.
Workers. And I'll read stage
Great.
directions. And it's sort of, yeah, I think that's enough.
Should we get into this?
Let's get into this. A Tree Burial Pod by Zach. Interior blank space day. A soothing voice speaks over a warm blankness.
Death. It's something none of us want to think about. What happens to us after it all ends? But now there's a way to live on even after you pass.
Reveal. Drawing of tree pod.
Introducing the tree pod.
Over the following description, a graphic shows the tree pod blossoming and creating a beautiful, strong oak tree.
Instead of rotting in the ground in a casket or burning your body to nothing, a tree pod uses your body as fuel to grow and nurture a beautiful, life-giving tree. What could be more natural?
Cut to interior harshly lit factory day. A work whistle blows. A conveyor belt covered in poorly organized bodies spills over to two workers who pull the bodies off one at a time.
All right, boys, these tree pods ain't gonna fill themselves.
The workers sigh as they pull a dead body off. We continue to hear the soothing VO over this harsh environment.
This process is what any of us could hope for. Your remains will be carefully put to rest in one of our burial pods.
The workers psych themselves up as they pick up a body.
1, 2, 3.
They struggle to lift the body into the pod. It's flopping all over. It lands with a thud. The rigor mortis keeps all the stiff limbs straight up to the straight up out of the pod.
Got a real piece of shit right here.
Instead of death, think of your burial pod as a fetus, from which you will be born again as a beautiful tree.
The workers are sweating as they struggle to jam this body in further. The lifeless body stares back at them as they violently push its arms and head downward into the pod. Come on!
Fuck you!
The body keeps spilling out as they try to close the pod.
I'm just gonna... Here. Sorry, idiot.
Worker 2 breaks the body's arms with a loud crunch as it fits into the pod.
There we go.
Hey, I didn't see anything.
As your body is carefully nestled in its egg, a single seed is placed within you. You are the tree, and the tree, it is you.
Close on dead man's face, mouth ajar, eyes skyward, looking at nothing. Tons of seeds just land on the man's face. In his mouth, everywhere. It's just very undignified. Cut to wide. Worker 1 is just dumping a huge bag of seeds on the body.
And with those simple steps, you will soon be one with the earth.
Cut to exterior, beautiful hillside day. A family walks forward and sees a beautiful tree. As they get closer, you see how happy and at peace they seem. The son, 8 years old, notices something and walks up to the other side of the tree. And he sees a skeleton wrapped in a growing tree. As he steps away, he looks up to see the entire forest is full of skeletons strapped in trees. A wolf pulls an arm off one. The boy.
A wolf pulls an arm off of the tree.
So let me know your thoughts if you think it's producible. Maybe one of y'all could bring it back in.
Oh, you need a mere 24 skeleton trees?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, you just make 1 or 2 and then you just copy it over.
Right, yeah. We'd get right on
And we
that.
get a factory where we can break up some bodies or something. I just was really...
It is funny. Like, the visuals I did enjoy.
I love that.
It's really upsetting. I mean, I just was like really... I couldn't get over how would that ever work?
Yeah.
What does that look like?
It's like, it's a nice idea, but in actuality, it's like, ooh, nightmare. Oh, my decomposing body is gonna feed a tree, and everyone's gonna be like, that's beautiful. Gross.
My family very into tree pods.
Really?
Yeah, because I think there's a vibe of
Really?
Well, yeah, I think that definitely some people in my family have talked about, like, look how cagey I'm being now that I'm not even giving you names of anybody.
Oh my God. Some people in my family who birthed me.
Well, I think that there is something about the idea of utility and the idea of being useful. I will say that for myself, I definitely want to give my body to science when I die. My grandfather did the same thing, which is extremely undignified. You're being given to medical students to practice the skills they're going to need to, perform surgery and stuff like that. And but what does dignity get you? What's pride?
You're
get
gone.
That and $3 will get you a ride on the subway. So it's sort of like, why not do some good with your fucking lifeless cadaver, right?
Oh, totally.
Which I know is not very
It does
aesthetically,
seem.
yes.
It seems very wasteful to get like a giant, like boat-sized casket and put
Yes.
that in the ground and have this like little plot that's yours. It's like, I think my great grandpa's buried in L.A. I think he's at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery,
Really?
and I've never even visited. I'm like, sure, like, and it's
that's
like
cool.
you have this glamorous idea of like people are gonna come to my grave,
Yeah.
and it's like, no, I'm busy. You're dead.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful poem that I had my philosophy professor. There's like a giggle fit happening. I'm going towards a tender moment.
No, sorry, no, sorry.
I'm fucking up. I'm
No,
stepping out of the
no.
tone. My philosophy professor passed away, and it was a
Aw.
beautiful. Many years ago, too early. Certainly, he was a really great professor, and it's a bummer that he's gone. Not only for his family and friends, but also because he was someone that made a difference to everyone that he taught. And there's so many people that missed out on getting to learn from him. He had this beautiful poem at his funeral on one of the printed materials, like the hymnal or whatever. There's all on this little cards. I should have it committed to memory, but there is a part of it that's like, do not stand at my grave and weep. I am not there. I do not sleep. I am the diamond's gift of snow. I am 1,000 stars that glow. And it's sort of like, oh, the energy that I have is of like, once I die, I'm not my body, which I certainly do. I think I believe that of like, even if you're totally not into the supernatural, I'm at the very least my actions and the effects I had on people reverberating out into the world and living on past my death.
That's
really
also
nice.
like when you do mushrooms for the first time, I feel like that's just like the number one thing that you take away. You're like, we're all energy. And we're all exchanging energy. You're like, it's just
Energy's
like,
over there.
oh
People being
God.
people.
It's like the fucking tree. I can feel you. Like, it's just like,
I will say about the tree pod thing, I think that's beautiful, and I think there's nothing wrong with doing that. I just thought it was very funny to me to imagine the worst version possible of how that worked, like a weird corporate
Well, of course,
workshop.
The issue here, of course, is that the corporate aspect of the funeral industrial complex is extremely gruesome.
Yeah.
And that what we want, like wanting dignity for the dead, makes a ton of sense on an emotional level. But also, I don't know, the comedian in me is like, of course it's undignified. Life is undignified.
Yeah.
Like, dignity is an artificial thing we're creating. All of us, you like as they say on Game of Thrones all the time, you shit when you die.
really?
When you die, your bowels
They
fall.
This
always
is why
say
I
that.
don't
They
watch
always
Game
say
of
that.
Thrones.
Well, this game, every fucking scene again, they've done this same scene like 5 times of someone being like, "I thought war would be glorious," and someone's like, "Hey kid, when a man dies, he shits himself."
That's a really easy recut for college humor. Just every death, but just
Oh my God. I hope that's true.
yeah.
For
You
your
hope?
sake, for your sake and mine, I hope I should.
wanna-
No, I mean, get at me in the comments, but again, I promise you.
No, I meant like when I die, I hope I shit everywhere.
Hey, Allie, you will.
Aw. It's just great to have like supportive friends.
Yeah.
You know? We've known each other for a long time, and that's
Yeah.
actually the first time you've ever told me that.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I didn't feel. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's good to know.
All right, this is the last part. We got some questions.
Lovely.
From people in the Discord. Now, if you're watching this on CH2, you should know that it actually aired on Dropout a few days ago, or maybe even a week ago. Who knows?
Maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
Possibly we're all dead now. We've all shit ourselves, and you're watching this. And you could have prevented that. But you didn't.
Find the cure.
So some people on the Discord channel wrote us 3 little questions. So let's hear what you
They
guys
all
have
work
to say.
together to
They
write
all
3
work-
questions.
1.
Sort of a little writer's lab. Yeah. 2.
One word at a time. I don't know how
Start
you would
with
have known. All right, I've been doing short form improv for too long. Okay, let's see. All right, first question from Galaxy M. What's it like being the new cast member when you're new? How quickly do you start to blend in? It's a great question.
We all had pretty different experiences,
really
I
did.
would say.
Oh yeah, this is one of each. That's great.
One of each.
One of each generation.
Yeah.
I started a little while before everybody, right? Right. Katie was already
I
here
was an
as an assistant. But when I got hired, within the first year, the entire staff basically turned over minus Trap. So like when I came on, Adam Conover was technically still we did a sketch together, which is funny in hindsight because like he immediately went to work on his show and then never stopped doing that. And then so it was Adam, Emily, Murph,
Pat, Trap. I think that's it. And me.
Whoa.
And
And then Siobhan joined like a little. She moved from New York a
And
little
then like
later.
6 months later, Grant joined.
Yeah. And so that was just like, I was just like super intimidated just because they like, they were all so good at it and had been doing it for so long. It was just like very weird to step in just because it felt like they hadn't had a new person in a while. So it was just like, and also my first like fully creative job. Prior to that, like being an assistant and doing other kind of like some kind of creative stuff in there, and then like doing like writing for like a sketch team at UCB. But it was weird. It's such an adjustment to be like, oh, my job is to write the sketch. Like this is my work. So I remember just feeling really like kind of nervous and like almost shy, like which was like. Interesting to just kind of figure that out and like learning to use Slack and stuff. Yeah. This was like a couple of years ago. But yeah, that was my experience. And then like as it went on, it just got easier and more fun. And it was fun at the beginning, but it was.
But you felt very much like, okay, I'm coming into
Yes.
like your space. Like they had their thing. And
Yeah,
you
like,
were like
come in like every day there the whole time, just like working. Like, am I be here too long or like but yeah, everyone was so comfortable and I was so reserved. If I remember.
Totally. And you came in right after that, right?
Well, I was.
Or you were here the whole
I've
time.
been here for 5 years, but it was in different capacity. So like, I was everybody's assistant, then I was like the writer's assistant. So I definitely came in feeling like, I was like working for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So then the transition to be like cast member was definitely like a little strange for me, just because I had just come from like being the assistant.
Totally.
But then like it happened like slowly. They started putting me in videos and like I'd start writing. So it was nice. But yeah, I remember feeling like shy, like, oh, I don't maybe deserve this. But then
then that went away.
That went away. I
Nice.
deserve this.
I just remembered my first sketch. Like they were like, you probably won't get a sketch made for a second.
Yeah.
And my first sketch was like one of the first things the literal first sketch I wrote at College Humor was made immediately because they needed something for James Corden to do, and it was just this weird fake game show where like he just tells everyone what character from Game of Thrones they are, because like people just try to like say which one they would be, and he would be like, no, you're casters inbred daughter wives or whatever. And like just that being the first sketch was very strange and not indicative of what the work was like.
Oh, totally.
Oh my god. Yeah, I remember Trap saying one of his early sketches, I think Murph was supposed to be in it, and it was about like it was like a Viagra that doesn't
Half
give you a
boner
full boner.
pill.
Yeah, so that when you're at a locker room, you kind of look like you have a bit. I don't know. But Trap was like, I came in, Murph wrote the sketch for himself, went out of town, and Trap had to sit in for it. So his like one of his first sketches on set was fully naked in like a little like thong for them to like film him in a locker room.
That's
I was like, I wasn't even
bad.
comfortable
Awful.
on set
Awful.
in my clothes.
Yeah.
It like
No.
took so long to be comfortable with
totally.
being seen. Like if they were like, great, you're naked in this one.
Although the next time you showed up on set and they let him wear clothes, you probably felt great.
Yeah, exactly. Picture yourself naked.
Yeah, what's the term for that therapy where you just like you're afraid of snakes? Our therapy is a bunch of snakes.
Exposure therapy.
Exposure therapy, yeah.
Immersion.
Literally exposure therapy. Immersion blender.
Immersion languages.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny that
Convection
all of us,
oven, yeah.
or I don't know about you, but like had kind of like at the beginning felt a little uncomfortable almost, or like needed time to adjust. Did you have that as well?
Did I need time to adjust?
Or did you feel like comfortable when you first came in? Because you had kind of a weird situation too. Because
I'm
you were
similar
working.
to you
Yeah.
in terms of that I had been working here in a non-cast member capacity
Right.
prior to being invited onto the cast. I had a fun. I was writing the questions for a bunch of the Actuallys with Trap for many months, and then can I say? A show that we're doing for Dropout that I don't know if it has been announced yet needed a writer's room. needed the person in the writer's room for nerdy stuff, and they were like, Brennan, you're a fucking dork, get in there. And then I did that, and then there was one other thing that had kind of started up.
I whispered troopers. I don't know if we could say that, but
Well, you just
but I whispered it and everyone heard it, I'm sure.
It was in the announcement video, so.
Yeah, it's in the
Alex
announcement
really just
video.
went to me like,
Oh, it was in the announcement.
But it
There's
was
a
like the
microphone right
wettest
here.
whisper.
I'm overly cautious now because I am still in the ninth pit of hell
No,
in my
I
own
did the same
heart.
thing. We've made so much shit for Dropout. You truly have no idea. We've made like 1 million shows. They're all amazing, and it's hard to keep track of.
Troopers.
It was a really wet whisper, though. I was very self-conscious.
A wet
It was like all you could hear was.
I thought it was funny to try to whisper in front of these 2 giant microphones in front of our face.
You looked confused, and I was like, "You wrote on it."
No, I was seeing if it was like if there was a cue that we
Yes.
could, yeah.
Interesting.
In any case, I was working on a couple different projects here, and then Zach was like, I was going to go write for Adam, and so Zach was like, so long and happy trails, and they were like, Bren, why don't you jump in? Because I already was like working on 3 different projects at the time, and I think it was an easy slide. And I didn't at first. I think I definitely had a thing of like, oh, thank you. I'm so happy to be here. And I was like, is it weird that they're just inviting me? And I didn't, because I had applied for the job before and did not get it, which I'm happy to say because I know that there's people out there that like take rejections very hard, but like it's a rejection is not the end of the world.
Yeah, and it's like so competitive. Like they hired 2 people or so, 2 to 3.
Yeah, there'll be like 250
like
applicants, and then 2 people get hired.
Totally. We're
was
doing
the
that
same.
right now, actually.
Yeah,
We're
we are.
hiring 2 new people right
And
now.
I didn't. And it wasn't until we started doing the process of looking for new cast members that I was like, why did they just like invite me in? That's so nice.
Because you're
nice.
great, Brennan. That's why.
But I was I definitely had those scared feelings of like,
Yeah.
until we started doing this cast member process, and I was like, oh, this is tremendously taxing on a lot of
Yes.
departments. Not in a bad way, just like, oh, we're asking hundreds of people to work really hard to submit for this job.
Yeah.
We want to give every single person the time that they're due. They've worked very hard, and we need to honor that. But it makes being invited onto the cast from having already worked here make more sense, because you're like, oh, that's not a process that can be happening all the time.
Yeah.
It's a tremendous amount of work to review
Each
all the
person
packets.
submitted 2 written sketches and a full comedy reel, and there were
And
like
pitches.
hundreds
Plus
of
supplemental.
them. Yeah.
Pitches,
I
yeah.
have never read so many sketches in my life.
So and you
much
want,
which is cool. Yeah, we have a lot of great
Yeah.
people.
So it makes those like off season, like in governments, that same thing of like a recess appointment. It makes those kind of recess appointments of like, hey, you're literally already on payroll working on 3
Yeah.
other things. We're just going to ask you to step into this role.
That was
Yeah.
the same thing with me. Yeah, I didn't get in through like writing a packet.
But I will say I kind of felt like I got in because I was already coming in for sketches, because I was like friends with you guys, and then they
Yeah.
happened to know me more when I did submit during the like writing
That probably
process.
I will say I was running a D&D campaign for Zach, Siobhan, Murph, Emily, and our John Wolfe, the EP of Adam Ruins Everything, and Travis Helwig, who was the head writer for a season of Adam Ruins Everything. And there's no small part of me that's like, did I get hired because I was the DM for a bunch of like just like home game?
Well,
was
I mean,
around.
it definitely it would be a lie to say like it's not good to know people who work at a place
Yes.
when you're applying to work there.
Yeah.
But also like at the same time, that's not the only way to get
Right,
hired.
you wouldn't have been hired if you were bad.
It's one of those weird things where from the outside, when people are like, let me tell you, kid, it's all about who you know. And you're
Yeah.
like,
That's a
oh,
great
fuck
voice.
Thank you. That you go like, oh, it's fucking nepotism and it's
Yeah.
networking. But on the flip side of that, there is also an element where between multiple really qualified individuals,
You go with the person you want to hang out with. Like we had like a midnight shoot for all those Shining things.
Oh, we had like
Where
an
our call
all-nighter.
time, yeah, our call time's like midnight, and you're about
Yeah.
to go through the whole middle of the night with someone. Like I don't want to hang
It
out
has
with
to be your
someone who
friends.
might be an asshole or might
Yeah.
have like a.
and without having it be even a sense of like nepotism or wanting to like have a crony, like I got you in, where you were in now. It's literally a professional consideration of, oh, I can speak to this person's character
Exactly.
in a high stress work environment.
Yes.
Totally. All right, great. Well, we will wrap it up there. Let's say it's about an hour. We're about an hour in.
Yes. Do you want us to say goodbye?
I would like each of you to say goodbye in a different language. Let's see who claims
Au
Spanish.
revoir. Au revoir.
Ooh!
Adios, mis amigos.
Goodbye.
What are you gonna do?
Dewey!
I guess I
That's
could
Dutch.
say sayonara.
Or ciao.
Oh, yeah.
That's the only one.
Ciao. Goedemiddag. But that's hello for Dutch people. It's
What
not
is it?
cold enough.
Wait, do that.
Goedemiddag.
That's the noise the mask makes in Crash Bandicoot.
No! Goedemiddag. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's that one. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's
I'm
not
gonna-
Dutch hello.
I'm just gonna look at these other questions so I know them.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, let's see.
We fully
What's the
said
food situation like in the office?
We got
Rapid
chips,
fire.
snacks, a lot of
Okay.
sodas.
Kale chips, a lot of LaCroix.
I would love half and half. I would
What's
love
it?
some half and half.
Absolutely not. You're disgusting. Almond milk forever.
Wow.
All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We will see you next time this comes out.
Yay!
If you're on Dropout, please check us out in the Discord. We're in there all the time. You can ask us questions, and we might feature it in a show if we don't run out of time.
Hi, it's Katie Mirovich from College Humor. If you want to subscribe, click over here. And for more fun stuff, click over here. And if you want access to College Humor's secret site, make sure you send your social security number, your credit card information, and your mother's maiden name in a private message to me.